What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. This is TW Motorsports, and today we're going to be working on the green truck. Now, as you guys know from the last video, I took the wheels off of this truck, and they are now on the Tahoe. So we have this truck just sitting on jack stands in my garage, and sorry guys if it's really echoey. I am in the garage. It's kind of a dreary day out there, but there's something that I wanted to do on the truck while I had the wheels off. Now, a lot of times I do stuff that's kind of expensive, and I wanted to do something that's cheap today and really cleans up the look of the fender well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my light here because there's not great lighting out here, and that light doesn't work, so we'll grab a different light. One of these cheap free Harbor Freight lights. Alright, so this is what we're looking at, the inner fender liner. So one of the things that that you always notice when you look at a vehicle is the fender liner looks so disgusting. And so today that is what we're going to work on, and it's something that you guys can do cheap and we're talking like less than $10, but it really improves the look of things. So what we're going to do, and guys, I am going to do something with the brakes very soon, so before the wheels go back on, be looking for a video on what we are going to be doing to the brakes. But for today, we're going to get this fender liner out. We're going to clean it up. I'm going to use a razor blade to kind of knock off the big chunks of anything that might be on it. We're going to get it out of the way, and then we're going to clean it up and we're going to respray it. Now, like I said, on lowered vehicles, actually, you really don't notice it as much because you can't see as much of the fender well, but when the wheels turned, it just looks really trashy to have this nice, clean, painted truck, and then you have an ugly fender well. So we're going to be addressing that. I'm going to go grab some panel tools, and it looks like that is all I'm going to need. There are no bolts in this one like on my Trans Am up there. It does have bolts, but on this it looks to just be all push-in pins, which is great. Makes it pretty easy to get out of the way. And be advised that there is going to be probably some dirt on the top side, and then once we get it out, I am going to go ahead and clean like these areas that are painted. I'm going to clean those up a little bit as well. But like I said, I wanted to give you guys kind of a cheap mod that makes things look a lot better, and we will be doing this on the Tahoe in the future as well. Now, the Tahoe does have rear liners. The truck obviously does not have rear liners, but I have a plan for that. That'll be way down the road though. So for today, like I said, I'm going to grab my panel tools and we'll get this thing out of the way. So I got my panel tools. Now, I will list these in the description, guys. These are two of the best things that I've ever bought, and relatively cheap. This one, you can see it pulls out ones like this, and then this guy actually pulls out these that have the center section in them that you have to pull out. So makes things really, really nice. And I'm going to try to keep them all together so you know kind of what goes where, but there's only a couple flat ones in here. The flat ones, like I said, I'll use these guys for, and the other ones I will use these. But pretty nice little tools. Like I said, I'll list them in the description. One thing I'll tell you is GM did not want these panels coming out. There's about 100 of these clips in this thing. And I'll probably, because I'm picky, clean all of these off too. That may sound crazy to some of you guys, but there's so many of these. Some of them are stubborn. Is that all? I think we're about finished. There is one push-in clip right here we're going to have to push out. I think the rest of these, I think there's supposed to be a closeout panel right here that looks like it's disappeared. I'm going to have to go to a salvage yard and find one of those. Alright, let's get this thing. Oh man, I missed one. There's one down here in the bottom I gotta get. I knew I'd miss one. And oh my, do we have some cleaning to do. Alright, this thing is out of the way. Hopefully you guys can see. You may not be able to see all the clips I removed, but let's show you what this looks like with the panel out of the way. And look at all the room you have. Holy cow, guys. I got some cleaning. I'm not going to concern myself as much. I'm going to wipe this down. But look, there's been a mouse or something up in there. I don't know that I necessarily like the way that is. And my battery tray, that's pretty common on these trucks for the battery tray to rust because of the acid. But yeah, we'll give this a good cleanup while we're in here. But now that we got that off, let's start cleaning up that panel. So now we have both the liners out, and the driver's side's actually pretty clean. I mean, I say clean, it's gross, but when I say clean, like these sections of like tar. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a razor blade and just kind of finely go over that and scrape the big chunks off. And once we get the big chunks scraped off, then we'll take them outside and clean them up real well. I'm not going to concern myself a lot. Like, I'm probably not going to paint the backside just because you really don't see that. It's up against the fender. But the inside is really what we're going to concern ourselves with. So I'm going to start scraping this all off, and then we'll take them outside and give them a good scrub down. So take a look at the pile of junk. This is just like tar, and like I said, that's the kind of the first pass that we're gonna do. Now we've got these things sitting out here. I'm gonna go grab some, probably some just Dawn dish soap and some soapy water, and we'll get these things scrubbed down. Of course, it started to miss rain, but hey, I'm cleaning, so it's not a big deal. So what I got to clean with, I got a Scotch-Brite and a hair. That's nice, gross. And just some Dawn dish soap in a bucket, and then I have my scrubber brush on my drill. This is going to make life a lot easier on me than scrubbing every little piece of it. So let's get started. They're pretty dirty, so it's going to take a minute. So after scrubbing them down for probably, I don't know, I maybe spent 20-30 minutes doing this. They look pretty good. That brush helps to take some of the oxidation off. As you can see, they still look pretty crappy, but I did blow them off. I'm just letting them dry. So while it's drying, I think I'm going to go on to the inside of the truck or the inner fenders of the truck and start trying to clean some of that up. Once these dry, then we're going to hang them up somewhere. I'm not sure, well, you guys will see it in the same video, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it today because it's misting rain and I paint all my stuff outside just hung up on a tree. So don't know that I'll be able to do that today, but like I said, you'll see it all in the video. I'm going to go grab some cleaning stuff and let's get in there on those inner fenders and get those clean. So now that those are drying, like I said, we're going to go ahead and clean all this up. Now, I'm not going to get real crazy, guys. I'm not going to go to the frame rail even. I'm just going to clean this area right along top. And I'm sorry for my lighting. It's dark out here in my garage, and this is the best I can do. So hopefully you guys are going to be able to see. But what I'm going to be using is I have some alcohol and water. That'll kind of be the third pass. But I have some all-purpose cleaner, and then I have some tar remover. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of those blue towels and some all-purpose cleaner. I'm going to go over it like once and get the big chunks off. And then once we get the big chunks off, then we'll move to the bug and tar remover, and that's mainly to get the big chunks of tar off. I will tell you that this side isn't as bad as I thought it would be, but we're going to clean it, and hopefully it's going to look a lot better. Now, I know the inner fenders are going to look a lot better, but let's go ahead, grab some of those towels, and clean this nasty mess. And I'm hoping, guys, I'm going to try to set my camera up to give you a good shot of it, but I'll time lapse it so you don't have to listen to me grunt and complain through this whole process. So now that we've went over that a couple times with just some all-purpose cleaner, it didn't take me very long, because like I said, I'm not concerning myself inside here. I'm just concerning myself with this painted area that's going to be showing once the inner fender's back in. So now I'm going to take some Terminator, which is not my favorite bug and tar remover, but the stuff that I used to use, they discontinued. And so this is the only thing I've really found that works. And so the only reason I'm doing this is because where the fender liner wasn't protecting, there's several bits of tar here and there. So I'm just going to rub this on top of it and kind of let it set for a little bit, and then we'll go over it again a couple more times with this. But the big chunks I'm kind of knocking off with my thumb. You can hear when I get to a piece, the towel wants to stick, like there's a spot there. But all in all, this stuff does an okay job. Like I said, it's not my favorite, but I think it'll be good enough for what we're doing. And most people probably wouldn't even go this far, but to me, if you're going to clean it up, why not take the time to do it right? So we got, this one's pretty clean on this side actually. I did the other side first. I'm not going to show you guys that on camera, but it had way more tar on that side than this side has. So hopefully this cleans up pretty well. It looks like it's going to. So I'm going to let that set, and we'll do the other side here. I'll turn the camera around so you guys can see that. I'll time lapse that as well, but we'll do the other side, kind of let it set for maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll go over it one more time, and that should be good enough to get the big chunks off. Now that I've let that Tarex or Terminator, whatever it's called, set, I have wiped it down again, and now I'm going to just alcohol and water, and we're going to clean off all that greasy mess that that tar remover leaves. I don't like to leave that on the paint a ton, just to get the tar off. And there, like I said, there wasn't as much as I thought there was, and there wasn't as much as the other side. So we're going to go over at this one more pass with this, and then once we get this finished, we will go over it one more time with the microfiber, because this leaves some like streaks and stuff that I don't really care for. So we'll go over it again with the microfiber and some just water and alcohol, just to keep things all clean. And once we finish that up, we'll be ready to put the liner back in. So bear with me here. We'll get this wiped down 2 more times at least, and Then we'll grab that liner, take a look at it, because I did already paint it. I had to paint it somewhere else because it was raining, and then it got really cold here. So I'll show you kind of what I used to paint it and what it looks like here once we get this all finished up. Let's take a look at it all finished up. And you know, it doesn't look perfect. A lot of these spots are stained, and you know, you could probably wet sand them, but guys, I'm not gonna get real crazy like that. I just wanted to clean up the inner fenders a little bit, and honestly, these trucks are pretty prone to rust, so I wanted to get, you know, the junk out of down below here and just clean it up. So I think it looks a lot better. Like I said, I'm not gonna touch the frame or any of this. We are going to be working on the brakes soon, and like I said, sorry for my lighting, but let's take a look at the inner fender. This is it here, and I sprayed it with just some cheap Rust-Oleum. It's just basically semi-gloss, and it works on just about everything. It's pretty pliable, so you know, if you get it on there, obviously these things move around, and painting it with something like that that's good for plastic, you could use whatever you want. I like to use semi-gloss. I don't like to use gloss because it's just too bright in there. Sometimes I use flat, just depends on what I have laying around, but I had this Rust-Oleum, and I think it looks pretty good. There's a couple spots that, you know, it kind of fish-eyed. It's just too cold to be painting right now, but I also cleaned off all of my pieces here. I scrubbed each one of those down individually, and I know that's probably too much, but it makes things look a lot better. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna set you guys back up on the tripod. Hopefully I can get some light in there so you guys can kind of see what's going on, but we're gonna try to clip this thing back into place. Now, one thing to consider, turn my light back on here, is that tab right here, that clips on the top side of the fender. So if you can't get to it while you're putting it in, you should be able to push that in first. You can always pop the hood and clip it in from the top. So like I said, I'm going to set you guys up on the tripod, and we'll get this fender into place, and then we'll take kind of a look at it all cleaned up, and I think you'll like it. I think it's going to look pretty good. So as I said, we're going to attempt to plug that piece in. I think it goes in this one right here. I don't really remember, but that's what I'm going to put it in. You can push it in, like I said, before you put this up into place. Grab a couple of these and get this started. Once you get one in place, it makes things a little easier. And then you just kind of go around. Now, a couple of these are special. I'll see if I can turn the camera. Some of these, like down in these corners, like these guys here, these are the big clips that go in here. Man, they're fun to get in there. Like that one, and then this one over here is another big clip. Two little ones here, and then the rest of them are the ones where the centers come out. So I don't know if you guys remember that. You could always rewind and kind of see what I was doing to begin with. But let's see if we can get the rest of these clips put in. So take a look, guys, at how much better that looks. So much nicer. And like I said, we got a majority of the big stuff off on the top side here where the fender liner doesn't go, but what a huge difference. And one of the things that I always done when I detailed cars, like my first job before I could even drive was detailing cars. My dad would always paint inner fenders, and I never really understood it until you've seen one with and without. So it just looks so much better, and just really cleans up the look. I did scratch it. You can see that. I had it hanging on something with a metal hanger, and when I took it off, it scraped it up a little bit. I mean, you could touch that up, but all in all, looks 1,000 times better. And to me, like I said, it just cleans up the look of the truck. So, guys, I think that's going to do it for today. I wanted to give you guys a cheap alternative. Like I said, a lot of my videos that I do, they're kind of expensive. You know, I get like really involved in like the Trans Am and the paint job on this, but I want to do something that really cleans up the look of your car and doesn't cost a fortune. You know, I probably got $10 in paint, and I only used like a can and a half, so probably not even that. But I'll list everything that I use down below, like always, guys, including the cleaning stuff, the tools that I use to take it off, which I recommend getting those tools if you don't have them. They're very, very handy, not just on this, but everything that I do, I use those little panel pulling tools. So they do come in handy. But guys, if you do like this video, please smash that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, guys, we have a ton more coming. This was just something, like I said, very simple, easy to do, that really cleans the look up. And well, if you're not subscribed, go down, hit the subscribe, make sure you ring the bell icon, that way you're notified every single time we drop a new video. And well, stay tuned to see what we work on next.